Hey,
Yeah,
so this is the Santa video right now.
yeah,
I want this one to look like kind of Christmassy, like turn it red or something.
yeah, yeah. Ornamentation, tastefully seasonal. I got you.
But nothing too complicated.
Yeah, I said I got you.
Perfect. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Chess Giant. This is Solomon Odell, and today we are going to go over a game by Santa Claus. This game was actually taken from Russel Ramsey's chess column in the Philadelphia Sunday Item, written back in 1908. And I personally find this game very fun and entertaining to watch. Here Santa was playing with the black pieces. So let's just hop right in. The game starts off with e4, e5. And here we see bishop c4, the bishop's opening. And now Santa replying with knight f6, the Berlin defense. Here we see knight f3, knight takes e4. And here I think the best move for white is to play knight c3. But knight takes e5 was played instead. And this allows d5. And after the move bishop b3, Santa played the move bishop e6, which is okay. But I think better after bishop b3 is the very nice move queen g5. And this shows why taking on e5 immediately is a mistake. We see this queen on g5 attacking g2 and the knight here. And at move 5, we see that white's position is already starting to collapse. But Santa missed this. And after bishop e3, played bishop e6. Here we see castles. And now bishop d6. Here it's obvious that this knight on e5 is being attacked. So white continues with d4. And I think here the best move is knight c6, just naturally developing here. But instead Santa goes for queen f6. The only reason I don't really like this move is that this queen is kind of awkwardly placed. And we see after the move f4, which is what was played, the queen isn't really doing much, right? It's kind of passive and awkwardly placed. So here Santa plays c5, looking to create some counterplay in the center of the board. However, here I think this was a mistake because of the very nice move bishop a4 check. Here this bishop pierces down on the king on e8, and we see king e7. So in chess, guys, I don't think it's ever ideal for you to move your king on move 9 up to e7, right? And white sees this and sees how awkwardly placed and how vulnerable this king is on e7 and plays the move c4. In chess, you want to break open the position if you're attacking the opponent's king. And that's what was played here, the very nice move c4, breaking things open. And here there really is no way for Santa to keep the position closed. We see d takes c4, and now the very nice move from white, queen c2, right? This queen attacks the knight on e4, and the pawn on c4, even though it's defended. Here bishop f5 was played, defending the knight. However, this leaves the pawn on c4 available to be taken. And now we see c takes d4. And the very nice move from white, queen b5. With queen b5, here white is attacking this pawn on b7. So Santa plays a move b6. And again, a very nice move from white, rook e1. Notice how active this rook on e1 is, eyeing the king on e7. Here we see bishop c5, and here Santa wants to eventually have ideas with the move d3, right? Attacking this king on g1. So here white plays b4. And here Santa plays a6, attacking the queen on b5. We see queen c4 and b5, attacking the queen again. And now queen d5. Notice how active this queen on d5 is, attacking both the knight on e4 and the rook on a8. We see bishop takes b4 from Santa here. And there's a lot going on in this position, right? A lot of pieces hanging. But here white played rook takes e4, which is a nice move. The idea being after bishop takes e4, we have queen takes e4. And now we see that this queen has an eye on the king on e7 and the rook on a8. Now Santa in this position, instead of trying to defend or prolong the game, plays the move rook c8. Here Santa realizes that his position is losing, right? This position is not pretty for black. But when you're in a losing position, especially in a position like this, I think it's best, instead of trying to just hold on, trying to create some counterplay and trying to hope that your opponent makes a mistake, right? And that's what Santa's doing here with the move rook c8. We see queen b7 check, a nice move from white. Here we see a check on e7 and also attacking the rook on c8. So king d8 was played here. And now we see knight takes f7 with check. Now here Santa was forced really to take the knight on f7 with the queen. Let's just take a look at what happens if the move king e8 would have been played here. Here white could have just continued with taking the rook on c8, and after king takes f7, bishop b3. And after king g6, queen g4 check. And this is not pretty at all for Santa by any means, and there's really no hope for counterplay here. So after the move, knight takes f7 check. We see queen takes f7, giving up the queen. And again, this position is not pretty for black, not pretty for Santa here, and I really do think it would take a Christmas miracle for Santa to win this game. So we see rook takes c1 check, gobbling up the bishop, forcing the king to come to f2. And I would just like to mention that b takes a4 would actually be a mistake here because of the very nice move, queen d5, right? Attacking the king on d8 and the rook on a8. So after king f2, we see knight d7, which prevents this from happening, right? And now we see that this bishop on a4 is being attacked. So bishop b3 was played, and now king c7. We see queen takes g7, and now bishop c5. Santa realizes that this position is completely losing, but is just trying to create some counterplay, right? The bishop on c5 is better placed than on b4, as d3 check ideas are in the air. Here Santa, because he is losing, wants to complicate the position as much as possible. Here we see f5, advancing the pawn. Rook e8. I like this move from Santa here. This rook on e8 is very nicely placed. And here we see bishop e6, right? So we see that this bishop on e6 and this queen on g7 is attacking this knight on t7. So here Santa is more or less forced to play the move rook e7, attacking the queen and defending the knight on d7. And now we see queen g3 check. And after king b7, queen d3. Here Santa just continues with king b6, solidifying the position of the king, trying to bring the king to a more safe square where it would be less vulnerable to checks. And here white plays a4. Again, trying to break open the position, trying to aggressively go after the king on b6. And here Santa plays knight e5, attacking the queen on d3. We see a5 check, king c7, and now queen e4. And finally, Santa decides to play d3 check, attacking the king on f2 with the bishop, and also bringing this pawn on d3 one square closer to promotion. We see king g3, and now bishop d6. Notice here how this bishop again is eyeing this king. Here we see queen a8, and now knight c6 check, attacking the king. King h4 was played, and here white is actually threatening to play queen c8, which would be checkmate. So here Santa plays bishop e5, leaving some breathing room for the king to come to d6. We see queen c8 check, and after king d6, here I think was when white made a huge mistake. Here knight d2 was played, and knight d2 is not a bad move in the sense that white is still better in this position technically, but it's very hard to play with for white here, and much more complicated. I think a much easier way to go about this would be rook a3. By playing rook a3, we see that this rook attacks the pawn on d3, and sure, it gives up the knight on b1, but now we can just play rook takes d3 check, and after king c5, play rook d5 with check, and notice how this king is going to have to give up the knight on c6 with king b4, and after queen takes c6, white's completely winning this game, but after king d6, we see the move knight d2, and now bishop takes a1. A very nice move by Santa. Realized that he took with the bishop instead of the rook, so that after knight e4 check, king e5 could be played. And now we see f6. White is aggressively trying to get a new queen on f8. And Santa doesn't seem to mind. Santa plays rook takes e6, taking the bishop, and after f7, playing rook h6 check, we see king g5, rook g6 check, king h5, and king takes e4, just allowing f8 equals queen, which is what happens here. I think if white plays this position perfectly, white can draw, but it's very hard to play with, and it's kind of astounding to me how here in this position, white has 2 queens, while Santa has 0, but black actually has a preferable position here, right? Because of the activity and the coordination of his pieces, not to mention that Santa just has more pieces, right? That are covering more space on the board. So here Santa plays bishop e5, looking to solidify the position of the bishop. And here white has 2 queens, but there's really not much white can do here besides just kind of run around checking the black king, right? And that's what white does here with queen f3 check. We see king d4, and now queen c to f5. We see rook c3 from Santa here, just trying to solidify the position. Queen 3 e4 check, and now king c5. And here I think white should have played a move like queen f1, but instead what was played was queen f8 check. And with this check and the checks that are coming after this, we see that it just gives Santa too much time to solidify his pieces. We see rook d6, which further supports the potential push of d2. We see queen f2 check, again just running around checking the king because white can't do much else. Now we see rook d4, and now I would argue that Santa's position is actually better. We see queen f8 check, and now bishop d6, attacking the queen. We see queen f2, trying to pin the rook on d4, right? But here Santa plays d2. And now Santa is 1 move away from promoting to a queen. So here white had really no choice but to play queen takes c6 check. Idea being after king takes c6, queen takes d4. Now at first sight, for many of you, it may seem like white is doing okay here. White is attacking the rook on c3 and the pawn on d2, and there's no immediate way to defend both. But here Santa finds a very nice intermediate move with the move rook c5 check. Idea being after king h6, we have rook d5. And now this rook defends the pawn on d2 while attacking the queen. And here we see queen b6 check. Here Santa is 1 move away from promoting to a queen. So again, there's really not much white can do than just kind of run around, check the king, and try to prolong the game as long as possible. We see king d7, and now, again, Santa is threatening to just play d1 equals queen. So white checks again with queen b7 check, and this continues with king e6, queen c8 check, attacking the king, king e5, queen h8 check, and here king f4. I would like to note that in chess, guys, it's very important that in the opening, you protect your king, right? In the opening, there's a lot of pieces on the board. There's a lot of activity, a lot of firepower. You want to protect your king, right? You want to keep your king protected, closed off, shielded from attack. But in the end game, when there's less pieces, you want a very active king, which can help aid in potential promotion of pawns, right? And that's what Santa's doing here with the king on f4. We see queen f6 check, king e4, queen f3 check. Just notice how white isn't really doing much to better his position, but instead just continuing to check Santa's king. And as a result, Santa has the opportunity to create a more active king. And here we see king d4. Now notice here how now black is not threatening to play d1 because the rook is not attacking d1 while the queen is. So here white finds just enough time to snatch up this pawn on a7, but it's too late. Here Santa plays king c4, again threatening to promote d1. We see queen e4 check, rook d4, bettering the position, queen c2 check, king d5, queen f5 check. Here we see bishop e5, improving the position of the bishop, queen f3, king c4. Notice again how Santa is just continuing to slowly improve, slowly making his pieces more dynamic and threatening. We see queen d1. And here a very nice sequence by Santa with the move rook d3. We see h4, bishop c3. White is trying to push the pawn down the board, but there's just not enough time because after h5, we have rook e3. And here, Santa is threatening to play rook e1, kicking the queen off of d1, and then promoting. So we see queen f1 check, and after king b3, we see queen d1 check. And here after king b2, white actually resigned here because there's not anything white can do from stopping this rook from just coming to e1. And there's also no checks available, right? There's no checks available for the queen to keep checking and keep attacking this king on b2. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I think Santa needs to work a little bit on his opening repertoire, but it comes to show he's a very creative player. And again, I think he teaches us a valuable lesson in this game. When you're losing, for an example, down an entire queen, try and fight back. Don't try and hold on and prolong the game, but instead, take some risks. You really have nothing to lose, right? So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. Let me know what you guys thought of Santa's play down in the comment section below. And I'm wishing you guys a Merry, Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching today's video. If you'd like to watch another one, you can click or tap up here. And I've got a lot more high quality chess content on the way. So if you'd like to subscribe, you can click or tap down here. I really appreciate your support.